Shalom, 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 shalom. First and foremost, giving infinite praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Ruchakudash. Giving double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and shalom and salutation to all you Sensei Akim across the four winds, pushing this truth with sincerity of heart. I'm your fellow servant, Kasama Gan from the DC camp, coming at you through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Ruchakudash, for the elect. This lesson is going to be an exhortation, encouragement to the hopeful elect, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, primarily. The 144,000 and the 1/3. And this is going to be a message of encouragement for the sincere brothers and also the few sisters that do listen, but primarily the brothers, because we're the ones at war. We're the ones in the trenches. We're the ones that are prophets. We're the ones that are the teachers. We are the ones whom the Lord deals with, beginning with our apostles and elders of Great Millstone up in New York. Now, I wanted to deal with, of course, trials and tribulation, afflictions. I have this terminology. Well, we know the terminology to hell and back. You have to understand everything comes from the scriptures. There's nothing new under the sun. When people say what they say, they all really get it from the scriptures. If it makes any good sense, they actually get it from the scriptures. So the terminology or the term to hell and back, it just focuses on the fact that you have to go through a hard, tough road full with thorns, and you may not know where the road is going to end, especially when things starts to really happen. You start to lose certain things, and it seems like your whole world is collapsing. And I know brothers is going through it. If you're not going through it at the moment, it just happens. You probably on a little break. If there's really I don't even know if there's such a thing as a break in this gospel. You might have major incidents, and then you have minor incidents. That's the way I'm gonna put it. In this gospel, you're always going through something. You might be going through a season where things are major, or you're going through a season when things are minor. But it's just this road to hell, so-called hell, and then back. When you come back out of it and you're delivered out of it, you become a better person, a stronger person, with greater faith, in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. So without further ado, I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible through the Spirit. This is where you get the term. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16, verse 13. All right. As a matter of fact, I'm going to start at 12. It says, for it was neither herb nor mollifying plaster that restored them to health, but thy word, O Lord, which healeth all things. All right. For thou hast power of life and death. Thou leadest to the gates of hell and bringeth up again. All right. So that's where you get the term the hell and back. All right. Because ultimately the person who puts you through hell and back is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, it's the Heavenly Father Yahweh. To toughen you up, to strengthen you, as you continue to go into this journey. And I know brothers is going through it, especially now as we inching closer and closer to this thing popping off. As we know, everything is set up for some really big, huge things to take place, not only here in America, aka the Virgin Daughter of Babylon, but also across the world. And one of my latest video, I talked about a barrage of false flag operations, because that's how we're going to fully enter into the New World Order. The Great Reset Agenda 2030, which when you hear Agenda 2030, it means that the agenda has to be accomplished by 2030. We are already in the Agenda 2030, Great Reset. All right. You have to understand what that means, Agenda 2030. All right. But the Heavenly Father is going to speed things up. So I believe through the Spirit, we won't have to wait for Yahweh Shai until 2030. And that's what I said. That's the Lord willing, because we don't, that's the mindset that we have. So in the meantime, we being put through the ringer. We've been put through hell and back, for purification purposes. All right. as the world is going more evil and more wicked, and everybody is in this delusion. 2/3 of the nation of Israel, the majority of Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, who are still refusing this gospel, just like the scripture said they would. And it seems sometimes that there's an illusion of the wicked of our people winning, able to survive, although times are getting tougher. But trust and believe it's just an illusion, because the numbers say otherwise. The numbers are saying that the majority of our people are struggling to pay their bills. They're struggling to pay their rent, and they getting crushed, financially, economically. They're still putting up a front, but eventually this whole thing is going to blow up. It's going to blow up like a balloon, basically. And then that's when you're going to see an excess of violence out in the streets of America. And that's going to happen pretty soon. But as far as us in this gospel, it's tough, it's miserable sometimes, but there is such a thing as misery loves company. You need to know that you're not the only one. It's good to know that you're not the only one to go through what you're going through, and that kind of helps your psyche and helps you understand, hey man, you just gotta basically just man up and have faith and go through that hell, and trust that the Lord is gonna bring you back. This is 2 Corinthians 11 and 22. All right. This is Paul going in on catching hell, being going to hell and back. It says 2 Corinthians 11 and 22. Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I. Are they ministers of Hamashiach? I speak as a fool. I am more. In labors more abundant. In stripes above measure. In prisons more frequent. In deaths often. So we're not being thrown in a can frequently in this gospel. Now, it may, we might have situations where, things may happen, and you might end up getting thrown in a can for a little while or whatever, for, whatever trial and tribulation you're going through. But you just need to know you're not the only one. It's happening. All right. It's happening amongst the entire brotherhood. Brothers is going through it. And knowing that should help your psyche, because if all of us are going through it, and we still in this gospel and we still going strong, that means that there's a way back from this hell. All right. There's a way back from this hell, man. The Lord is not just going to lead you to hell and not bring you back. There's a purpose behind what he's doing. So you just got to hold on, man. You just got to hold on. 2 Corinthians 11 and 24, it says, of the Jews 5 times received our 40 stripes, save one. Thrice was I beaten with rods. Once was I stoned. Thrice I suffered shipwreck. A night and a day have I been in the deep. Yeah, man. You talking about shipwreck out in the sea. You know what I'm saying? On some Leo DiCaprio type ish from Titanic for a day and a night, man. Just that's crazy. We're not literally going through that, but the things that we're going through in this society are more so, instead of carnal, they are physical. They're more so spiritual and mental, because there's a lot of wars going on. You have to fight against, so-called blood-related family members. You got to fight against a system that's set up to turn your wife or your children against you. You had spiritual demons flying around trying to constantly, put in doubt into your mind. You had your possibility of losing your job. I mean, the ramifications of you losing your job. It's just different things, man, that we go through. But it's part of this gospel. All right. 2 Corinthians 11 and 26. And journeying often, in perils of water, in perils of robbers, in perils by my own countrymen, in perils by the heathen, in perils in the city, in perils in the wilderness, in perils in the sea, in perils amongst false brethren. All right. So these are the different things that you're going to be faced with in this gospel. And it's nonstop. I mean, like I said, you have seasons where you have major hell, and you have seasons where you have minor hell. But it's always fluctuating. So you always going to be in these situations. This is kind of what we signed up for. This is the price of freedom. You know, you got to understand, man. The majority of Negroes, primarily beginning with Judah, and then the rest of the tribe. One of the main reasons, besides the fact that salvation and freedom was only going to come by way of Yahushua Hamashiach. One of the main things that basically stopped the head tribe, from pursuing and fight hard is the prices, it's the sacrifices that a man must make to attain freedom. So at some point, the tribes have basically decided that they'll be okay being slaves for eternity under Esau, Edom, the devil that the Bible speaks of, in the heathens, as long as they are allowed to have the minimum to just kind of like survive and have a little bit of fun. But it's a whole different thing when you really want to be free, man. You understand that the stakes are high and you're going to have to go through hell and back. This is the price of freedom. 2 Corinthians 11:28, it says, besides those things. Now, actually, I'm going to go back to 27. It says, in weariness and painfulness and watchings often, in hunger and thirst and fastings often, in cold and nakedness. Besides those things that are without, right? Besides the things that are outside, that which cometh upon me daily, the care of all the churches. So with everything you're going through, especially brothers in a leadership position, with everything that you're going through, man, you still got to take care of your brother. You still got to be your brother's keeper. You still got to maintain the order in the church. So sometimes, sometimes you can feel the weight. You can feel the weight of the truth. And it's like bittersweet. You understand the weight of the truth. It's almost sometimes crushing, but that's why we have help. That's why we communicate, and that's why we pray and fast. And we made up our minds that this is the price of freedom. This is the price of order and righteousness being established on earth forever, for eternity. It says, verse 30, verse 29, it says, who is weak and I am not weak? Who is offended and I burn not? Yeah, so Paul's like, man, you catching your hell and your misery. But again, misery has company. That's why it makes us feel better. I'm not saying you feel better because your brother's catching hell, but you feel better knowing that you're not the only one catching hell. All right. And that is part of the brotherhood. It's called a house of lamentation, or the house of pain. All right. So it's tough. You know what I'm saying? But the Most High won't let us just collapse and not save us. We always got to remember that. Verse 30, it says, if I must needs glory, I will glory of the things which concern mine infirmities. The power and Father of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, which is blessed forevermore, knoweth that I lie not. In Damascus, the governor under Aretas, the king, kept the city of Damascus with a garrison, desirous to apprehend me. So he had a whole bunch of soldiers in Damascus looking for him. So Paul had a bounty in his head in Damascus. All right. In the city of Damascus with a garrison, desirous to apprehend me. And through a window in the basket was I let down by the wall and escaped his hands. And the main thing is that at the end of all of this, Paul is speaking about this alive. So, that's determined. That's where you get the terminology to hell and back. All right. And the thing is, man, like I tell the brothers about this, is that we always speak about knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I've always stated, man, knowledge and wisdom comes first, but understanding is slow. When Paul is going through these things, as Paul is going through this hell, he can't understand why he's going through it. But afterward, when he's brought back from this hell, and as he writes these epistles, he's in full understanding of what he went through and why he went through those things. So there's stages of growth in this gospel, and unless the Most High, unless the Lord put you through this hell, man, you won't be able to get the understanding that you need to move forward. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, subtitle, Reaffirm Your Love. And it's very important, man, because sometimes you get bitter. You would get bitter if you're not putting this hell that you catch in the hell that you catching, if you don't put this hell in its proper perspective, you can become bitter, which is a sign of lack of understanding, and get mad at the wrong power, because you get mad at the Lord, which will show that you don't understand. You don't have understanding. But if you don't have understanding, just go through it, and you'll get the understanding later. Don't be hasty with your mouth. Don't be hasty with your thoughts, and rash with your understanding, because you're catching hell. All right. If you don't understand something, just stick to it, and you will understand later. Don't get emotional. Just put your head down and endure. It says 2 Corinthians 2:1. It says, "But I determined this with myself, that I would not come again to you in heaviness. For if I make you sorry, who is he then that maketh me glad? But the same which is made sorry by me. And I write this same unto you, lest when I came, I should have sorrow from them of whom I ought to rejoice, having confidence in you all, that my joy is the joy of you all." And so this is the type of talk when you catching hell, and you know your brothers is catching hell, and you want to come around, and you really don't want to you don't want to be in the world. They call it trauma dumping. It's good to a certain extent, but like, you want to be around the brothers, man. Yeah, you want to share the sorrow, but you also want to uplift and share and bring about optimism. If you're in a room is full of 20 brothers and all we do is talking about how we getting our asses kicked every day, all day, at some point the conversation got to switch up to, why we getting our asses kicked, and the progress is happening as we getting our asses kicked, in this process. So, but just bring more optimism to reaffirm, the love that we have for Yahweh Bashim Yahshua and this truth. All right. Verse 4, it says, "For out of much affliction and anguish of heart I wrote unto you with many tears, not that ye should be grieved, but that ye may know the love which I have more abundantly unto you." All right. So yeah, it's very important. It's the dynamic of this truth. This is Hebrews 13:5. It says, "Let your conversations be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have." All right. Be content. It says, "For he has said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee, so that we may boldly say, the Lord is my helper, and I will not fear what man shall do unto me." All right. So you have to always have balance. That's what I mean. Like, you catch your hell, endure, share the load, talk about it with the brothers to the proper extent. But also, you also have to have words of optimism and joy, and looking forward to great things, to the great things that the Lord is going to do for us if we endure to the end. So always speak in balance, not just in a negative aspect, but also in a positive aspect of this truth and the changes that you're undergoing in this gospel. All right. Because if not, you're going to make the Lord, to be some kind of bad guy, some kind of righteous power who just thrives, who's just happy and elated to see us suffer. No, he's happy to see us suffer to a certain extent, because that suffering leads to what we really need to be, which are the true gods of this universe. We are the children of Israel. Deuteronomy 7:6, we're the greatest people on the planet. We are the apple of the Most High's eye. We're built different. We look different. We act different. We live a different lifestyle. And for the longest, we've been way too accustomed to being around the heathens. And, we need to be cleansed from the multitude of gods, the bullshit ass American / Babylonian mindset. All these things have to be purged out of our system so we could really become who we were always meant to be, the gods of the earth. All right. So let me close out with 1 Corinthians 10:13. It says, "There has no temptation taken you, but such as in common to man, but the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear. All right. So, and that's what I wanted to bring forth. Like I said, man, there's going to be times when you're going to be going through things in this gospel, man. And you're going to see yourself really going, like everything going to hell. And you're not going to be able to stop it. You just got to basically brace yourself and endure it. But, you know, I speak from a man, you know, from experience, and, you know, the men that have been in this gospel before me, they'll tell you the same thing. The Most High bring you back, and then you'll see why he you know, he had to put you through what he had to put you through, and he'll give you the understanding so you can talk about it. All right, because that's what it is. We got to pass the glory into glory. You know what I'm saying? When you learn, you experience, you understand, and then you pass the knowledge on to the next man. I mean, this is the love of a Mashiach, which is the passing of knowledge. All right, so with that, I'm going to say, Kal Halayim La Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahushua Ba'Hashem, V'chakudash, giving double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Shalom, and salutation to all you sincere Akim across the four winds, pushing this truth with sincerity of heart. Continue to stay strong, continue to fight. You know, and remember, the Most High will bring, he would take us to hell and back. All right. Kasama God from the DC camp. Shalom.